Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Unapologetically Keith. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. I am your host, Keith K.L. Belvin, and I do the best I can to try to bring subjects to the table that allows us to have adult conversations. I am a crisis counselor, author, and a person who just does what he can to try to offer assistance to those in need. And so tonight, I'm going to be serious tonight because I'm talking about a very, very difficult subject for women that I don't think men take into consideration. Brother Johnny, what's going on, sir? I don't think enough men take into consideration this subject here. And so I am going to make an attempt to try to offer my thoughts on it. Now, wait a minute. Let me see. I think I did this again. Was I in the group? Yeah. Or am I on my page again? I think I did that before. Let me make sure I'm not on my page. Make sure I'm in the group. Because when I do it on my page, I wind up having a whole lot of people that shouldn't be here. So let me make sure that I am in the group. Give me a second. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, Keisha. Okay, there we go. So tonight's subject is dealing with abortions. And anytime that you're having a conversation about abortions, you're opening up the door to a lot of contention. Physical, spiritual, emotional, political, and it's not that easy. And so I posted a video in the group from what appears to be a young man and a young lady having a disagreement out in the street. Tiff and I are going to go into that. We're going to tear into that video on Friday because I think there's some things that can be chopped up from that video, and I think there's some things that you might have missed, and Tiff and I are going to offer our point of views, which are different, believe it or not. I mean, we don't always see eye to eye. We try to, but I gave her my point of view tonight, and she was indifferent. Not, let me take that back. She found it different, not indifferent. And she was like, wow, okay. She saw where I was coming from with my point of view, which I'm hoping that will be interesting to you guys on Friday. But one of the things that I noticed in watching this video was, well, you know what? Hold on 1 second. Let me do this before I get into the super heavy stuff, because this has the potential of being a thing that brings up a lot of negative feelings. Let me first give a big shout out to Kim Long for her purchase of Braven Apparel. Shout out to Kim, who purchased a hat, Nike hat, the pullover, and the Braven mug. So she had her Braven mug on display. Have mine right here. I don't have anything in it right now. I got my bigger cup here. But she had her Braven mug on display, and she said her Braven t-shirt is on the way. So shout out to Kim Long for supporting Braven Wear and Braven Publishing. And you have to go to bit.ly, Braven Apparel, to purchase your own Braven Wear. So shout out to you guys. I will definitely put that in the chat. Shout out to Michelle Green and Kim David, two authors who are in the group. Also, two domestic violence survivors who offered 2 gifts to members here in the group and gave and gave members here their books, and so those books should be on their way. Shout out to Anissa and Kim Long, who were the winners of my book, so they'll be coming out to you soon. Shout out to Anika Branch and Jacqueline Otley and Kira Bullock, who were the recipients of the contest, who won the books the other day. So all of your books should be on the way. Please make sure that you take pictures and post them in the group. Would love to see it. But super big shout out to you guys. I just posted the apparel name, what's the name in there. Also, shout out to Lakeisha Green. Lakeisha is doing sign language classes on Tuesday. And from my understanding, I know my wife and daughter love it. KL keeps trying to teach me sign language. I'm like, I'm not in the class, but I got you. So shout out to Lakeisha Green for making the lives of people better and being able to teach a whole nother language. So shout out to Keisha Green. And also shout out to Keisha Green for the big Connect 4. We got the big econo size in Connect 4, and Kale is getting mopped up. She ain't ready for that. But thank you so much. And we have a little something for Brother Emmanuel for his birthday that just passed the other day. Shout out to Emmanuel and shout out to Jesse. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And so, all right, let's get into this. And, you know, it's never an easy situation. And so I want to make sure that we have folks here. Okay. And I'm sure folks will tune in a little bit. There's my lovely wife. And I want to say this. And so I'm going to get right into it. And I know you guys will watch the replay if you're not here. I'm not one of those big fans of sitting saying, let's wait for a couple of minutes and let's give people a chance to come in here. Like, their time is not critical. What about the people who are watching you live? So you're supposed to just make them be on hold while you're trying to up your numbers? No, you don't do that. So let's get this started. In the video, and you can watch the video it's in the group, and Tiff and I, again, like I said, are going to talk about this video. You clearly see this gentleman and this woman having an argument. I don't even know if you can call it argument, just a disagreement, because she is definitely hurt. But there was something that caught my attention when she said, "You didn't even take me to my abortion appointment." And at the age that I am now, I have the luxury of maturing and being able to look back at the foolish child that I was when I thought I was a grown man. And a grown man is not measured in age. Let me just say that first. A grown man is not measured in age. A grown man is measured in his maturity and how he takes care of and how he treats the people around him and in his life. And one of the things that happens is that often we praise men for being men when actually all they are bigger boys. They're just older boys. They're not men. They're not grown men. A mature man understands the damage that he can do and tries to avoid it if possible. A mature man sees his woman as an equal. He wants her to grow. Hey Michelle, he wants her to do better. He wants to see her become something that she dreams about. So when you hear somebody say, I'm tired of letting you do this to me, and then you hear somebody say, you didn't even come with me to my abortion appointment. Let that soak around a second. You didn't even come with me to my abortion appointment. Now, here's what I know to be true over all these years. First of all, if you have not read chapter 3 I believe it's chapter 3 in From Gigolo to Jesus. I want to make sure. Chapter 4, page 33. If you have not read my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, I do have an understanding of both sides of that statement. You didn't even go to my abortion appointment with me. And I understand both sides of that statement. Now, how do I understand that? Well, as I put in my book, I did a whole chapter on abortions and miscarriages. So when you have enough information to fill a whole chapter in a book, that says something about the boy that you were, not the man that you thought you were. And I was a boy. For 37 years, I lived my life my way, thinking that my way was okay. And in that damage done over 37 years, I didn't realize the wake of what I left out there. So what I want to share with you a little bit about me, if you haven't read my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, it's available on my website. Baby Doll, if you're still watching, Tiff, put the link to my website up, bravenpublishing.com. I gotta check. It should be on the way there. Definitely, Michelle. I will check the tracking for me too. I sent you the tracking information, but I will definitely double check. It should be there. It should have been there by now, but we'll check and we'll make sure that it's there. And I can't wait for you to get it as well. But I want to read you something from chapter 4 in my book, From Gigolo to Jesus. I want you just to get an understanding of what I was. And one of the things that I do is I don't hide from my past. I put it out there because hey Kim, just shouted you out, darling. Thank you so much for the purchase of the Braven products. Thank you so much. And your book is on the way. But I want to share this with you so you can get an idea of the young boy that I was, even though I was masquerading as a man. Thank you so much, Tiff, for sharing the link. Anybody that wants to purchase the book, they can go to the link and purchase it. So hang out with me and this is from the abortion miscarriage chapter. If I really took time to come up with an exact number I have contributed to possibly 30 pregnancies that resulted in either miscarriage or abortion. The truth is, I don't know the number because I didn't care to keep count. When women became pregnant, I was good at convincing them not to have the baby with me. I told them I would be the worst father in the world. Little did I realize at that time, I was telling the truth. Now that's at the beginning of the chapter. And so it was ridiculous in terms of what I was. So yes, close to 30. I think it's the actual numbers like 25 or 26, but close to 30. And you may say, that's disgusting. Yes, it was. That's the reason why I talk about it. Because what I realize is that men have no idea, none, of what they're asking a woman to do. But I want to give you a little bit more from the book, and then I want to talk about this. Men need to, and this is part of the chapter. Hey, Tony, how we doing? Again, this is part from the abortion miscarriage chapter in From Gigolo to Jesus. Men need to take ownership of their actions and the results of them. Right now, I am using myself as an example. I have opened up myself to ridicule because I want this cycle to stop. Men are aiding in breaking down of the family structure. I hope by putting myself on display, other men will begin to see the damage they are doing and make changes. Many have told me it was a blessing that those children weren't born because you would have been a phenomenal mistake to have so many children running around this world with a father like you. Where I am in my life spiritually, I would rather be a father of 30 children than a murderer of one. It disturbs me that abortions is used as a matter of convenience when conveniently having casual, irresponsible relationships. Then we tell ourselves we can't be inconvenienced by the results of the casual choices we make. How selfish is that? Where I once believed I had no other option, I realized that the Lord is the only option. He will provide for you. It may be tough, but that is a part of life. People may wonder, am I a convert to the pro-life now? You don't have to wonder. The answer is yes. As I end this chapter of my life, I beg you not to place yourself in a situation where you are forced to make the decision between life or death. When I lost, what I lost was far greater than what I gained. Understand the consequences that may come from your actions. You may be damaging yourself or someone else for the rest of their lives. It is embarrassing to think how foolish I acted. I regret living that way, but it is who I was. And I'm gonna tell you something, and thank you, Tony. It's tough, but I feel like, and I know the ladies here. Hopefully, let a man know who needs to hear this. Here's the problem. I know for a fact, because like I said to you earlier, I know both sides of that conversation when a woman says, "You didn't even come with me to my abortion appointment." I was that man. I was quick to try to convince a woman not to go, not to have a baby, but I didn't want to go and be there when she was, and I just had no respect and no responsibility. I didn't take any responsibility. And so when you watch a video like my man in the video and he seems quite callous to her feelings, I know exactly what that is. And the only way we change that is by introducing men to a different way of thinking. One, you step up and be responsible for what you were trying to do. If you could lay pipe, you can take care of the child. And second, it's not your body. Shut your mouth. If she has it, she has it. If she doesn't, it's on you. And so, and thank you, ladies. I appreciate you. And third, understand that if you have a woman go this route, the damage that she may suffer may be lasting. And she may not be able to have children. That part I didn't get when I was younger. That part when I was a boy, an immature boy, faking that I was a man, living only through the lower half of my body. I didn't understand how damaging that right there is. Because I didn't realize I wasn't going to stay a teenager, a young kid in his 20s forever. So what happens when you mature? What happens when you become a man? What happens when you have to sit down and write this chapter to try to help somebody else not be what you were, and knowing that there's women out here now suffering through what you put them through because you were ignorant? 3 of the close to 30 women that had those abortions and miscarriages can no longer have children. I'm friends with 2 of them. Oh no, I'm getting there, Kim. I'm getting there. And so, and I understand why the other young lady doesn't want to be cool with me, doesn't want to be friends with me. And I don't expect anything less, because as Kim was just saying, the emotional side of what you are asking a woman to do, the emotional damage that you are inflicting on a woman, you have no fathom as a man. You have no understanding what a woman is going through spiritually and emotionally. And they're connected. Often a lot of women who are having these abortions are not so much believing that they should have it, but just understanding that it would be so devastating to themselves. And then you have the women who are going, I don't want to hurt him, so I'm going to do this. Putting their lives at risk and putting their future at risk for some guy who doesn't care. Exactly. I understand, Tony. I definitely understand. I was there too. And I think what men don't get is what Kim said when she mentioned the emotional part. They also don't understand how many women have made this decision. They don't understand how many women are going through and suffering through the outcomes of this decision. How parts of their bodies have been forever altered. And then spiritually, trying to make sense of what they did spiritually. And when you have a physical, emotional, and spiritual chasm It's very hard to repair that. Some women do. Like, shout out to Tony, who just said, I had to forgive myself and him to heal. Shout out to Kim. And shout out to all of the women here who have experienced what they've experienced, because I know for a fact men don't understand. And thank you, Tamara. And what I do to try to pay back for the damage that I did is I go hard to protect women now. You've heard me say many a times that women between the ages of 35 and 65 are my target market, because that's who I look to protect. Because the only way that I can truly say I'm sorry is to try to protect as many women from men like I was. And so I put myself out there, so any questions, any concerns, any women that just want to just be mad at me, come on, be mad, be angry with me. It is, darling, it is. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing. And thank all of you for sharing. That's another reason why I wanted to do this tonight, is because I know men won't sit here and listen to you. I know men don't want to have this conversation, and they should, because they're so quick to say, you can't have this child. And they give you all the stupid reasons in the world. And here come the waterworks and all the tears. But they're only thinking about themselves. Way to go, Tamari. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of times they never address the man, Kim. And actually, sadly, in many communities, it's okay for the man to even ask you to go that route. And then they criticize the woman who does go that route. They make her feel bad for even thinking that, and then make her feel worse for doing it, and the man gets off scot-free. I know, because I was that dude. And it's not discussed enough, because I believe it cuts so deep that a lot of men don't want to even put themselves in that position because they're scared. And thank you. Keep sharing it. Keep sharing. Share anything that you want about this subject, ladies. Because let me tell you something. For years, Tiff and I lost a child to a miscarriage. And I honestly thought at the time it was a curse that I put on her because of what I had did before. I honestly believe that, and still do to this day. Thank you, Tony. We need to discuss. Well, the church. Well, you guys know how I feel about the church. Is that wow? I got you, Kim. I just feel the church drops the ball, because anything sexually, anything connected to sex, they seem to just flutter away. Whether it's the mental part, abortions, cheating, they don't address it, because it's almost as if they're scared that skeletons are going to fly out of everybody's mouth. And this right here is lifelong damage. And when I think about how cruel I was, let me tell you something. Writing this chapter was very difficult. I never cried that hard writing anything. Because when you write about abortions and miscarriage, but you're writing through the eyes of a changed man, and you start thinking of the damn damage that you've done to other women, and how those women are now suffering when you're happy, it's painful. Because as a man of God, I sometimes have to ask God, why did you bless me when you saw what I did? You watched me do what I do. I didn't blame him and say he let me do. He didn't let me do anything. I had free will. So it's very difficult to sit there and go, well, why am I happy now with a woman that I love to be with when I destroyed other women because of what I wanted? Why? And I had to learn to take this and put it out there and allow other women to throw whatever rocks, tomatoes, whatever insults, whatever they needed to throw at me, throw it, because then I realized I was built for this. And I was built to hold on to all that animus, to all that negativity, because sisters didn't have somebody else to beat up on. Well, then beat up on me. And I learned how to flip it. I learned how to change it to be able to take the pain that women had and be able to funnel that back through men to get them to understand what a sister was saying through the tears. Because as men, we don't have these conversations with other men. We don't have the emotional conversations. We don't understand the damage that we're doing to you or what we've done to you. We call you crazy. We call you stuck up. We call you a bitch. We call you whatever. Because no one sat us down and said, she just had life ripped from her body. That's not no easy process. And even when men are trying to be comforting, it's difficult for the woman to even accept that initially. Because she ain't really trying to feel nobody at that time. She ain't really trying to deal with anything. And if I'm wrong, tell me, ladies. Point me in the right direction. If I'm off track on anything, correct me tonight. And when you go through a 7-8 year period where now you believe you're at a point where you could be a pretty good dad, and you got all these kids out here, and you got a wonderful woman that's taking care of somebody else's children but is unable to have her own, and you go, so this is where it's going to be, God? Okay, I accept it. If this is what Tiff and I are going to have to deal with because of what I did, but here's the problem is I know it was killing Tiffany. Exactly, Kim, and that's why I try to come to the table to have that conversation. I had a child when I was 14, had no choice in that. I was forced to have her with a lot of resentment because of who I was becoming, broken home abuse. I got you. Oh. Okay, I understand, Tamara. Thank you for sharing that. I understand. And when you read the book, so that you could help others take that pain, that's why God has you here. We need to thank you so much. I appreciate that, Michelle. My ex-wife, and I put it in the book, when I don't stress why she does not like me, I know why she doesn't. And she doesn't because our third child we aborted. And she used the abortion pill RU486. And that's when it wasn't FDA regulated, but some doctors had some ways to get it, and she knew a Jewish doctor that was able to give her the pills. And I remember how insensitive I was towards her, not taking into account that she was literally laying there hemorrhaging, because this is what the pills force the fetus to basically hemorrhage. And when I think of how inconsiderate I was while it was happening, and the whole time I had went out and got another woman pregnant. Yeah, I was that bad. So when she found out about that child years later, the reason why I never argued, stressed, or said anything was because there's nothing I can say when that pain and that hatred I created. I can't fix that. All I can do is pray for her, pray for my children, and that's it. And I pray any man that is in the group that watches this on replay, make amends with what you've done. You don't have to try to fix her. Just offer an apology and shut your mouth and keep it moving. That's it. Don't explain anything. Just say, I'm sorry, and keep it moving. Yes, I've healed. Oh, many times over, Tony. I've healed, and that's why I stand in the way to help other women now. I definitely have healed. And what it took me, the first 37 years was living my way. The last 15, I've been serving the Lord. And in serving the Lord, what I do is stand out, and I stand on it. I don't sugarcoat anything. That's the reason why I wrote From Gigolo to Jesus. Because I want you to understand what I was before I came to the Lord. And I tell people this, and it's real simple. I have 7 children with 6 different women. Okay, now wait a minute before you throw me under the bus. Yes, 7 children with 6 different women. Now hold on, here we go. But I've had 1 child with one woman in the last 20 years. You judge me any way you choose. I am 52 and I'll be 53 years old next month, God willing. And I have 7 children with 6 different women. But in the last 20 years, 1 child with 1 wife. Decide any way that you want to decide. Exactly. Just hold it. And you know what, Kim? I didn't realize that, and the whole time I was sitting there next to my ex-wife, it never dawned on me to comfort her. I literally was sitting there like, how long is this going to take? Never dawned on me. That's why I don't stress her pain. That's why I don't stress why she doesn't like me. That's why I don't stress why she goes at our oldest son of the 2 that we had, who looks and acts a lot like me, because I know he reminds her of me, and I know that causes her pain. I have apologized to her, and God knows every other woman that I could, and I continue to apologize, and I always apologize, but I don't worry about those that don't want to forgive me, because I can't do anything about that. I just pray for them, and I do pray. I pray for all the mothers of my children. Because just because I found the place of salvation doesn't mean that they haven't. It doesn't mean that I'm better than, because I'm not. And my job now is to protect every woman that's dealing with a man like me, and call out every dude who's living like I was. I shine a light on it, and I stand on it. And I want women to know that they are safe when they're around me. And the reason why is because if I don't become the very thing I want to see in the world, then what the hell am I doing? We're not placed here to judge, Keith. We found God. Well, we can judge action to marry. The Bible actually says that, because it's called discernment. We have to discern what's good and what's evil to be able to address it. But like in Galatians 6, it says, when you see your brother or sister sinning, restore them without getting caught up in their sin. The only way you can do that is you have to judge what they're doing is sinful to be able to help them without getting caught in it. What we can't do is judge their heart. We don't know what's going on the inside, but we can definitely see what's going on the outside. And when we see a brother and sister going down a rabbit hole, our job is to reach our hand out and say, don't do it. Don't go there. And then we're supposed to share our testimonies so other people coming up behind us can say, damn, bro, you was that bad? Yes, I was, but God is great. Look at me now. And not look at me now for vanity reasons. Look at me now because look at what God has done with me, and look at what I do so God can get the glory. That's how you get forgiveness. You now make it about the Lord. You don't make it about yourself. That's why I point out to people, whatever I was before this, you judge me any way you choose. I don't lose any sleep over it. And the reason why I don't lose any sleep over it is I know how many lives I've saved. And what I mean by saved is people who I've been able to point towards the Lord, who then took it from there. People who have come to me and said, your book changed my life. What you said about your wife, what you said about those babies, what you said about what you do helped me to understand myself, that I'm doing what God said to do. Gandhi said, be the light you want to see in the world. Well, I'm being that. I'm creating a whole practice around trying to save lives, because I know there's women out there hurting who's dealing with men like I used to be. That's why my target market is women between the ages of 35 and 65. Why 35? Because that's about the age when you start to go, my God, what the hell was I doing in my 20s? My God, I'm almost 40. What do I do? And why at the other end, 65? Got you, Kim. I know you're over 65. But the reason why 65 is because by 65, you're looking around, you go, is there still a chance for me? Hell yeah. Sarah was 80 when God said, you're going to have a baby. And she laughed. Baby? Yeah, okay. And wasn't nobody around when she said that. And the man of God said, hey, Abraham, why your wife out there laughing? Why your wife clowning us when we said she's going to have a baby? Yes, he did, Michelle. But he gave me a wife, and a wife who saved my life. And I tell people all the time, it was because of God and Tiffany that you see those degrees on the wall. All that you see behind me is because of God and my wife. The business that I have is because of God and my wife. That lovely daughter that's laying in the room right next to me is because of God and my wife. But this is not about me. What it is about is that every woman, I want you to understand, there is a couple of us that figure it out. To every sister here and any sister that watches this after we're done, please know that some of us men figure it out. Now, I don't know about the men that are in the lives that any of you women have been with, but I use myself as an example. Be the light you want to see in the world. Gandhi said that. I use myself as an example. I've been with over 300 women sexually. I'm not proud of that, and I share that with the young men I used to teach in New York, and I share it with the men I talk to now. You know why I tell them? Because now I say, here's what and it's over 300, damn near close to 4. Here's why I say it. Now there's almost 400 women that know what my wife and I share, and I'm ashamed by that. But now my focus is just her. Yeah, Kim keeps herself in great shape. Way to go, Kim. It's that good living. And now it's that West Coast sun she getting. But I do want to say this to all of you ladies that are watching. I want to say I'm sorry for every man who didn't understand how valuable you are. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Praise God for her as well. I want to say I'm sorry for every man that didn't understand what God said in you being every man needs a woman, needs a wife. I say that, shoot, I don't think I want it right now. It's time for me to love me because I want 100% not. Yes. Thank you, Tamara. That's very true. And when God said a man shouldn't be alone and created a woman, he understood. And that's why you look so good, Kim. No sexual stress. And Tiff and I have had this conversation in public, and we've had this conversation at conferences. And if I could tell you the look on some of the women's faces, they don't know what to do. They don't know whether to hate me, love me, hate her, love her. But here's what I tell them. Don't stress. Focus on God. Not everybody is going to find exactly what they need when they want it, but God will make sure you're okay if you can fight through it enough to see him. It doesn't change overnight. And I know men don't understand that. Men, unfortunately, don't understand that they can still go back and repair some of the damage with just a simple, I'm sorry. You don't have to offer the long explanation. Just simply say, I realize what I did to you was so wrong. Please forgive me. I am sorry. And then shut the hell up. Am I wrong, ladies? Now, I know some of you that I'm sorry may come way too late. But is that the worst thing? Would that even help? Am I right? Am I wrong? Talk to me. If he says I'm sorry, would it matter? Amen to Mary. I get you on that one. Yes, very true. Put him first in everything. Nope, it won't change, or nope, it doesn't matter. Because I know tomorrow you ain't playing. I've seen some of your posts. You ain't playing the BS. you ain't trying to hear that. I feel some of your posts tomorrow. You not playing no games. And I ain't mad at that. It doesn't matter. Okay, I got you. And why is it that women are left with the responsibility? Because you know what, Kim, in a man-driven world, men don't know how to apply the pressure to other men the way they apply pressure to women. That's why. In a male-driven world, they'd rather sit around and talk about the conquest and the panties, never the responsibility. Nope, it won't change and it doesn't matter. Got you, Kim. And you know what I realized? That's the point when that's what men don't understand. But some men are hoping on that. Some men hope it get to the point that you just don't care no more. What they don't realize is not that you don't care, it's just that you've deleted them. Because now they don't matter at all. Listen, they don't exist. And when you get to that point, that's a bad place to have a woman with you. Because you get run over by a car and she be like, word, let me back up and hit him a couple of times myself. But here's what I learned as brothers and sisters in the spirit. We have to accept the forgiveness request. I know it's hard. God says, love thy enemy, for I will heap burning coals of shame on their head. So as hard as it is, we're supposed to. I know it's difficult. We're supposed to at least accept the forgiveness request. We ain't got to become friends, but we're supposed to accept the forgiveness request and let them deal with God on that. And I know it's hard. I know it's very, very hard. Oh, without you're never supposed to forget, Tony, because that's what drives us not to do it or not to put ourselves in that situation, because that's the reason why the Lord wants us to share our testimony. Because in sharing our testimony, it allows others to not make that mistake, and it holds us accountable to the very thing that we're saying. So we're not supposed to forget. See, I forgive him in all he has done. I just did my vow. Break it was best thing I ever did. Forgive to set myself free. There you go. When the wind of the Lord cares is game. Listen, as R. Kelly, who I hate to bring up, says, when a woman's fed up, R just messed up because he had a lot of good music. But it's hard to listen to R. Kelly music and not realize who was writing that. But he did have some great songs. But when a woman's fed up, my ex wanted to come back after 25 years and a marriage and a family. He told me he was limited. I told him he was to allow him in. Okay, there you go. It's a requirement. Yes, Kim. You know what it is, Kim? There is a point where it's like, why are you even trying to come back? No, leave it alone. Because there's a point when that's it. It's done. You can't do nothing. And yes, Tony, it is a requirement. It's a requirement of all of us. Because if you can't forgive your brother or your sister, then how can you expect the Lord to forgive you? And this is the actual practice of the faith. This ain't the sitting in church, waving your hands, dancing, stomping, running around, tithing, and everything else. This is the actual underbelly of the faith, the part of the faith that many of us have a hard time with, and that is loving thy enemy. We forget that part. Not forget, but it's hard. It's very hard. But the Lord said the road of the righteous is treacherous and narrow. Treat our enemies with kindness, the hardest thing in the world to do. But that's why we all got work to do. And that's why our walks is what it is. There's nothing that you can do about it. You're right. R. Kelly has issues, but listen, I'm that way tomorrow. I still listen to some of the songs. I just try not to think about it. I'm like, I dig it, but then it is what it is. But and it's hard because it's like, damn, R, really? Like Luther, when I know Luther died of a broken heart because he couldn't live his truth as a gay man, it's hard sometimes to listen to his songs and be like, Luther was singing to a dude? Okay. I mean, I'm not mad that he was singing to a dude, but it just takes a little spin off it when you start to sing the songs to yourself and you're like, wow, okay. It was kind of, I didn't tell him to go. I was kind of, you didn't tell him to go straight to hell. God will take care of that, Kim. You didn't have to tell him. If he didn't get right, he may be ending up there anyway. And yes, forgiveness is like medicine, Tony. It really is. And I think we all have to be able to have these conversations from our points of view and from our experiences. I know, right? I love Luther too. Tomorrow we got a lot in common. I love Luther too. But I'm like, man, you gonna tell me a house is not a home when you climb the stairs and no one's there? Oh, Luther. You hear an echo? I don't know what happened. Let me see. Are y'all still hearing the echo? Because I didn't change anything. But you know how Facebook is, so I'm not sure what's going on. So let me see if I can turn down it just a little bit. But, yeah, man. But I think we got to have... Okay, thank you, babe. He's gone. Family didn't even have a service for him. Oh, Lord. Didn't even have a service for him. Wow. But I think we got to have these conversations, guys. And I mean, we got to have the difficult conversations. Wait a minute, let me put my Trump on and try to hold the water. let me put my Trump on. You can't be president if you can't hold a cup of water. You're not my president if you can't hold a cup of water. I'm sorry. Go on about your business, man. Just give up the seat. You can't hold up a cup of water. You can't be the president. That means you can't fight. If you can't get a cup of water to your mouth, that means you can't fight. Go home about your business. You can't be my president. See, Obama looked like he could still scrap a little bit. Even Joe looked a little scruffy. Joe looked like he might get it on. We know Kamala fighting. But do Pence look like he really going to get into a little something? And we see Trump can't even get the cup to his mouth. So, come on. Is that who we really want fighting for us? But seriously, guys, seriously, here's what I want. And I always say this, but I'll say it again tonight. I want you guys to take conversations like this. Thank you, babe. I want you to take conversations like this to your own circles. Because we have to have these conversations. We have to have difficult conversations, and you have to share your experiences. I know every time I talk about abortions, I know there's going to be women in the crowd who this will be the first time that they share their experiences about what happened. Pence would give a hug with a couple of dead flies on his head. And I'll tell you another story. Tiff and I were setting up for a book event down here in Delaware, and I'm putting the books on the table. Keith, see what I post about what will happen if they concede topic for another show. Copy and paste it and put it in my inbox for me tomorrow, or tag me in the post so I can know to go back and check it out. I'll definitely take a look. Okay, I saw I got an email. Yeah, tag me in the post and I'll go check it out, or just copy and paste it and put it in the inbox and I'll check it out. So here's the thing, guys. Tiff and I was at an event and we're putting the books on the table. We had we weren't even set up because it was early in the morning. I think it was like the event started at 10, so it was about 10:45. Tiff normally sets the table up because she has a very keen eye in how to arrange everything in a certain way. 2 college-age girls came over, and they pick up from Gigolo to Jesus, and, you know, they're flipping through it, whatever. And I said to one of the young ladies, I said, you know, she asked me, did I write the book? I said, yes. And she was just telling me, you know, this is a rough subject, but we need to talk about it, get the pain out. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Very true, Michelle. That's it. And listen, I cried, and I'm a dude, so I can't even imagine. I know what Tiff was going through when we lost our child. And like Kim said, I just was there. I didn't try to talk about it. I just offered her comfort because I knew there was nothing else I could do. And I knew we had pretty much all the things in place that we wanted except that. And I prayed, and I mean, I prayed hard. It was that fervent prayer. You know, when you add fervent to it, you want people to know those hard prayers. Those, Lord, with tears coming down your cheeks and, okay, I'm not getting up, Lord, until I feel I got all this out. Prayers. So 2 college-age girls come over to the table, and they're flipping through the book, and I noticed that she pauses on the abortion chapter. And I said to her, and again, I speak from my heart. I've never shied away from, you know, I speak from my heart. I let the Holy Spirit guide me. And I said, that was a very difficult chapter for me to write because I know what it feels like to hold on to pain when you really want to get it out. Now, when I said that, the other young lady looked over at her, and then she looked back, and you could see them having a conversation about what I knew, because I've seen the faces before. One of them had had an abortion. So then the one holding the book, I see her drop her eyes down, and I said, you okay, doll? And I said, I know that's a very difficult chapter. And I said to her, but understand this. God will make a way for you. God will get you through, no matter what you're dealing with. I'm proof of that. And you seen the tears start to come down her face. And I said, are you okay? And she said, I'll be okay. But Tiff and I knew what those tears were for. I didn't press. And I said, take the book. She said, take it. And when the 2 of them walked away, I realized that's why God has me here. Because I don't know what my book did for her. I know what those couple of minutes did for me. And if I'm a good judgment of character person, if I'm a person who judges character well, I believe my book helped her in some way, because I could see her walking across the big field and she did not close it. My hope is that young lady did something with it and took herself to a higher height. But if we don't share, if we don't put our stories out there, if we don't address our pain and let the world see it, we deny the world a look at God. Because when people want to know how you made it, when people want to know how you stand upright, when people want to know how you praise your wife the way you do, Keith, how are you so upbeat after all the things you've been through, Keith? It ain't me. It's God. It's God saying, I'm not going to kill you. You're going to struggle a little. Not a little. You're going to struggle a lot because of what you did. And you're going to live with the pain of knowing what you did. And you're going to have some problems with your own children because of what you did. But if you're strong enough to hold up under that, I got something else for you. You're doing it now, Tony. You're doing it now. You talk about it. Go back and look at what you shared with me in the Zoom, what's name. You're talking about it. You're living it. You, Michelle, and Barbara's story blew me away because I didn't know what you were going to share. I didn't know what your history was. And now that I do it, I'm even more impressed with all three of you. So you're sharing it now. So whether you put it in a book or not, you're putting it out there to the world. You're speaking it into existence. That's a very difficult thing to say. I was raped at 14 by somebody who knew me, who was supposed to be taking me to lunch. And I find it interesting when you go, and I didn't even get the lunch. And you try not to laugh, and I know it was a joke, but it's hard when you're trying to take it all in what you said. And then you said I had to get dressed and go back to school. I'm like, God. Or when Michelle shares about being raped or being sexually abused with an object. And then to know that both of you turned that around to not only become authors, you're survivors. That's God. That is what God does, which is missing because we don't talk about it enough. I'm not saying you guys don't talk about it. When Kim and Tamari explain who they are, you know how he blessed Job when he had lost everything, even when Job told his, oh yeah, I'm still thinking about Burger King. Like, I ain't get that food. Like, if you want to at least jump me, can I get something to eat? I'm not mad at you. But when I think of Tamari and I think of Kim and I think of how they're firm in what they do and they're firm in how they say it because somebody needs to hear it the way those two ladies give it out. Everybody has a role when they share their pain. When you share your experiences, that's why God says share your testimony. Because remember this, and I talked about this earlier with Sister Maggie Wilson. The day of Pentecost, when the burning tongues came down and touched the disciples and they went outside to talk. Some people thought they were drunk because of the way that they were acting. But here's what's very important. I want you to hold on to this. It says that each disciple was speaking in a dialect that each person in the group understood in their language, which means to some people, the other 11 looked crazy. But to the ones that needed to hear it, they got it in their language. That's how powerful God is, that he will take 12 people, put them on the stage, and everybody in the crowd will hear what they need to hear. We are those disciples. We have to share our stories, whether written, verbally, audio, I don't care. Because when we do that, we allow others to see how great it is. And I think you've had a whole lot more. You don't even eat meat now, Tony. You don't even eat mad about that burger. See, it went to where you wanted that burger. Now you don't even eat meat. I remember with each of course, with Barbara being sold into the sex trade, and then the other man. That's that right there, Tony. Shh, that's my gift. God has given me the gift to be able to recall what people give me. So when I say, bring me your pain, I'm able to hold it, bring it back, have a conversation, and then let it go. And bring it back when I need it. That's actually one of my gifts. Because it allows me to allow a person to feel comfortable from wherever they are. And allow me to climb in with them without being captured by their sin and then it affecting me. And again, that's how strong Tiffany is, because then I'm able to come home and purge that because I have a wife who then goes, I got you. That's why men don't understand that how important women are to what we are. We cannot be what we are supposed to be as men without a partner who is supposed to be there. Yes, you can do it alone, but God actually designed us to be together. We just and some of us may have to do this alone because God has something that He wants us to do. When you share your pain, you actually, but yes, you do. You do. You do. What did Jesus say? Place your yoke on me, because He said, bring your burden on me, for my yoke is light. Well, think about what He was saying. Bring your pain to me, because what I'm going to give you in return is easy. And I hold on to that when I get out here and I counsel. And I'm not your ordinary counselor. I'm not your ordinary therapist, because I'm not just strictly the straight lace therapist. I am a Christian who mixes in my faith into what I do, and I joke and I laugh, and I open up the door to allow people to let certain parts of their lives that they've kept hidden, I let them go ahead and bring that out. Come on, let's talk about it, because you're not going to shock me. There's nothing that you can say to me that's going to shock me, because Lord knows I've heard some things that if I actually wrote it down, as well as lived it myself. So when I tell you that men don't understand what you women go through, I know that they don't, because they're scared to have this conversation, because men above them who should be having this conversation don't, and the women around them don't feel comfortable because they know the men will not be able to take the pain that they're about to drop on them. They won't know what to do. And like Kim said, if they would just hold them and shut up, they'd be okay. But they don't, because a lot of men believe that they can fix whatever's wrong. You can't fix that. You can offer a counter. You can offer comfort, but you can't fix that. You can actually allow her to put that in a place where she can be okay with it. I didn't fix Tiff's pain. I offered something to counter it, to balance it out, to allow her to be comfortable and know that her pain, when it comes, she has somebody that she can curl up next to who will be like, I got you. Who's going to rub her feet, even when I don't feel like rubbing them. Even when they stink. So I can't take away her pain, but I can add to her happiness. And if I can tilt that scale to one side more often than not, we're good. And that's what I try to teach men. Find a way to increase her happiness. She'll dial down that pain, because it ain't going anywhere. My pain of my past is not going anywhere. It's there, but he doesn't get to drive the car. Go look out the window, but you're not getting back over here. Let me give y'all something. And again, you guys that have the book, and I know we're coming up on 10:30, but I want to give you something. I'm going to show you about my wife. And I've read this before, but I'm going to read it again because I love my wife. Tiff wrote the foreword from Gigolo to Jesus. Also, Tiff changed all the names to every woman in the book, because she said you don't want to put their names out there and hurt them, because they may not be ready to have their information put out there. So I could have easily wrote a tell-all that would have really hurt some women that their men didn't know what they were. And Tiff was like, no. So even in helping me with the book, she was thinking of other women. That's why I love my wife. Yes. Why do they want to fix everything? No, just hold me, dang nabbit. My wife says dang nabbit to Mary. But no, here come the questions and everything else. We will tell you what we need. Just pay attention. I am guilty of that, Tamari. I have to be honest. My wife tells me that, and yes, sometimes I gotta just shut up and come here in the office and shut my mouth, and she'll come give me a little kiss on the head, and we can talk later. So yes, my wife is the same way. Because it's what we were taught. Many of us believe that's what we need to do to fix it. Let me read you this forward from, and again, if you have not got a copy of my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, my wife put the link earlier in the chat. I can recall KL, or Big Dog, as I affectionately call him, coming home and telling me that one of his friends was not happy with the new KL. The friend reminisced about all of the fun they had and how much time they spent together running amok. He told him that he wished he could have the old KL back. I listened to Big Dog's saddened tone as he spoke about his friend of many years, and when he finished, I asked him, how did he feel about the new KL? He responded, I am happy, and unfortunately, he just doesn't get it. That evening when I went to bed, I prayed for my husband, as I do every night. However, I cried as I prayed. I cried because I know that Big Dog's friend meant well, but he couldn't fathom what he was asking for. For 5 years, I had a front row seat to the self-destructive path that Big Dog called his life. In the public eye, he was the big man on campus, the life of the party, the one everyone thought had it all together, but in private, he was falling apart. I am in constant gratitude to our Heavenly Father that he was delivered Big Dog from that place. Every day added to his transition is like a day of sobriety that we celebrate together. Tiffany Braxton Belvin, wife of a former gigolo. Yes, that is the one that I sent you, Kim. That is the one that's going out this week. It'll probably go out tomorrow or Friday, so it's going out. I got you, Kim. Yes, actually that's what I'm sending you and Nissa. Oh, actually, no, Nissa has this one. I'm going to send her a different book, but that's the one I'm sending you, Kim. Right here. And as you see on the back, my lovely wife. And that's me praying, and that's her looking like I should choke him out, y'all. Look at Tiff's face. That's why this picture was classic. We did a photo shoot, and we have a bunch of pictures, but this one right here, look at Tiff's face. If Tiff don't look like she about to do me dirty, Tiff look like I'm about to catch it all in the face. And actually, I almost did. I was sleeping, and I'll let Tiff tell that story one night. When y'all remember, when Tiff is on, say, Tiff, what happened that first time you caught Keith cheating? Tiff is gangster. Let me. I'll just tell you that it had. Is that yes? The first time, and Tiff caught me cheating 3 times. And like I said, caught me cheating. I didn't say I was cheating 3 times. She caught me cheating 3 times. And we was able to overcome all of that to be happily married. And the non-gentleman Paul is getting it. Paul is a good dude. He's gotten better. Years ago, oh my God, we were all part of the dog pound. Big Dog, Big Rod Dog, Showtime, pay-per-view. Yeah, I'm still. Let me tell you something. Tiff caught me 3 times, and now y'all heard me read Tiff's part. I am so trying to get Tiff to finish writing because Tiff is a phenomenal writer. Phenomenal. Not just good writer. Tiff is a phenomenal writer. I'm trying to get her to finish her book. She has a book that actually talks about, no, you're not, no, you got it wrong. I'm not looking like I'm going in to do you dirt. Oh, how was you looking, Tiff? Look. See, now she jumping in because I said I look like, how was you looking, Tiff? What's that look, Tiff? What's that look? What's the story behind that look? But next time Tiff is on, ask Tiff about the first time she caught me cheating. Oh, Lord, Tiff was gangster with it. Gangster. Some of you may already have heard this story. But I want to say this before I get off. I really want to say this. And I'm glad we could get to a point to have light about this subject and to be able to have real conversations. And I thank all of you ladies for what you shared tonight about yourselves. I know that every time I bring this subject to the table, I know I am pulling at some scabs, some very hardened scabs. Tiff, she'll ask her Friday, because if she tell you now, I might go in and get punched in the face tonight. Ask her on Friday. Just remember to ask on Friday. Tiff, what happened when you caught Big Dog cheating? Tiff was gangster with it. Let me tell you something. Y'all are gonna love Tiff even more. Let me let you in on something. The webinars that we're working on, Tiff is gonna have a very active role in those because she has a course that we're working on where she's gonna talk about dealing with cheating, how to deal with it, how to get past it, and how to live afterwards. He'll pray, I'll fight. Very true. Very true. That was actually the gist. I'll pray. we actually, that song would have been perfect back then when it was like, don't try me, try Jesus, because I lay hands, because I fight. That's us. Try Jesus, don't try me, because I fight. Tiff definitely is a fighter, and I would not be here now. I would not have any of the master's degrees, and I would not have the businesses. I would not have anything if God had not blessed me with the wife that I have. And so, in return, you guys are going to see in the course that Tiff is going to create. I'm going to help. I'm going to be part of it. But Tiff has a 4-week course about cheating. Oh, am I back again? Hold on. Tell me if I'm back. Can y'all see me? Did I come back? Or am I frozen? Am I back? Put a 1 up if you can see me. If I didn't freeze. Okay, there we go. Okay, thank you for the emojis that y'all can see me. But also, I'm trying to get her to write her book. Thank you guys. I got you. I'm trying to get her to write her book because let me tell you something. Tiff is a phenomenal writer. That forward she wrote. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Kim. So I want y'all to keep putting pressure on her. Say, hey, where's the course? Where's the book? Because Tiff has some things. Because, yes, I talk about what I did. But what people really want to know is, Tiff, how were you able to get him to change? And she didn't change me. But she was the conduit to me wanting to change. I could not be here without her. And I could not be here without God. So what I want you to understand is that it's a package deal. But I am now trying to move her up front, which is not where she's comfortable. That's not her style. She's not comfortable. But I want her to come up front because her talents are phenomenal. And when she writes her book, and I don't want to give the title away because we're going to stop doing that. We don't want anybody jacking it. But just the cover design that she was thinking before, if we can pull that cover off, y'all going to be like, yo, that's a bad cover. But what Tiff has to offer inside of it, and how she got a hoe like me to not want to leave her, and it had nothing to do with being pee-whipped. Exactly. Tiff didn't change me. Tiff made it difficult for me to leave her. So I wanted to change. And God did the rest. I was at the door and something inside me said, if you leave her, you'll never find anyone else like her. And I said to her, I don't want to go. And Tiff said, I don't want you to go either. But you cannot stay here like that. You cannot stay here in the way that you are. And I had to make a decision. I had to make the decision that I want her as my wife. Because my life cannot be complete without her. She just was her. That's why I know men don't have this conversation enough. They don't understand it. They actually don't understand the true power that God has given you. Because they're so often talking about the lower half of your body. Well, they talk about the breast too, but you get what I'm saying. Because we don't have enough men explaining that their lives would be trash if their woman wasn't there. And in the courses that we have coming up for next year, in the webinars that we're going to be doing, we're now going to have those intimate conversations where now we can get into the details of how we were able to do this. And the bigger one, the one that's going to be 8 weeks, Making Marriage Cool Again, we're going to walk you through 8 weeks on how to put your marriage or long-term relationship in the same type of light to draw out who you two really are. Now, for you single folks, Tiff got you. Because she's going to talk about the cheating and the dating. She has one course on cheating, the other one on dating. Because she can deal with that. There's no sex in dating. My mind, like, dating is humping. We've talked about that. And so I'm moving her into a position where when we do these courses, and we're going to have a separate area for you to come to be able to have those conversations, because the goal now is to do more of what God has placed on our spirits to share with the world. It's almost going to be like we're opening up our own school. Now, I'm already creating my private practice because I'm going to try to save as many lives as I can. And we're building that right now. I'm studying to get my everything in place. You can join in the singles event. The no sex dating, Kim. Tiff is going to have a course on the no sex dating. and what dating looks like without sex. So you'll be able to join in. You can be able to join in on that, Kim. You may not be able to join the long-term relationship or the marriage thing, but definitely the course on no sex dating. You got that, and dealing with cheating, because not everybody is going to, like when you said the 3 strikes. Tiff can actually explain to you why that was even a consideration, because that wasn't her style. Tiff wasn't the person to give a whole lot of chances. I had built up some credit, but even then I had pushed a good woman to a bad place. But it was because she held on to who she was, and she explains that to women all the time. You already know how to be single. So I tell you what, Kim, tell us what you need, and me and Tiff will create it for you. Tell us what you need, what you would like, you and Tamari, because I love y'all style. You tell Tiff and I what you need, and we got you. So tell us what you need. Tell us what you and Tamari need, and me and Tiff will create that. We will put something together for you. And if it's not a course, we'll definitely put a webinar together that's like, when Tamari mentioned the movies, she was speaking my language. And we going to go back to those movies too. We not done yet. So whatever you guys come up with, and remember, we're here for you guys. So if there's certain subjects that you think you would really like to dig into deeper, reach out to Tiff, reach out to me, and just say, Keith, you know what? In your ideas for the webinars, could you think about, let's go. Because it also gives us a chance to maybe climb into some things that we haven't thought about in a particular way. And I love the collaboration. Definitely reach out, guys. Let me know how it goes if you do. That's what the group is for as well. But listen, it's a little after 10. We're going to cut this down because I love this subject here. And my wife has been hanging out with me too. She need to get some sleep, but she ready to leave her job. That's another reason too, is that I'm working to remove Tiff from working for anybody else. We're going to work with each other. And Tamara, you asked me the other day, is that what Tiff wants? Yes, I ask her all the time, what does she want? And the moves that I'm making is to be able to place her in a position where she can use all of the godly talents that she has. That's the push for 2021 and beyond, is to allow the talents that God has given Tiffany, to KL, and to myself, to bring them to the forefront. And we're going to make these 2 loaves of bread and these 7 fish, these 5 fish and 2 loaves of bread, we're going to turn it into something. Because I honestly believe God has given Tiff and I something that we have misused years before. We're not doing that again. And when we did our radio show 7 years ago, we made the mistake of not putting out things that people needed. We did a good show, but we didn't create the products that people needed. And so, yes, and that's why when you mentioned that, I'm so glad you did, because I hold myself accountable to make sure that what I'm doing is what Tiff likes. Now, she may not always agree with me, as you see on some of the shows, but I don't just put stuff out, just say, okay, Tiff, you're my wife, do it for me. No. She enjoys her role in the things that we do, and then if that's not what she wants to do, I have somebody else do it. But what we're doing going forward is the goal is to have Tiff not work for anybody else, but for us to work for ourselves and for God, and trust that God is going to be able to take care of us, because we know that he can. And we're going to make that work. The private practice is slowly getting there. And then all the other things that we're going to create are designed that way. Not only are they affordable, but they're going to be able to allow you to grow with us and then take it somewhere else and be able to allow others to come so they can grow with us. And the groups that we have in place, like the Bible study group here at Unapologetically Keep, and we have one other group idea that we have in place, but we haven't launched it yet, but we're on that. Because we're going to give you what we're doing here, but now structure it in a way, because we don't like what we see on television. We don't like a lot of the foolishness here. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not real happy with the way the church is presenting a lot. I like a lot of things that the church is doing, and there's a lot of things I don't. So Tiff and I want to sit down and say, here, this is our offering to the world. And as I said to Tony earlier, be the light. I said to all of you, we want to be the light. And we're going to put that out there so folks, especially in these very dark and desperate times, because we're going to pray that they find a way to curb this virus. But in the meantime, we got to be able to help our brothers and sisters with something. And that's what we're going to work on. So, okay. So listen, Friday, the lovely wife and I are going to tackle that video. I think you're going to be Thank you, baby. Thank you, Tiff. I think Friday, well, not I think, I know Friday, God willing. Here's another subject. When you tell someone what has happened to you, and it's okay. You know what, Kim? That's a great question because Tiff and I talk about that too. Because Tiff will always say, don't dismiss what I'm saying. And I have to explain to her that I'm not. And sometimes I have. I'm not going to lie. In the past, there's sometimes I dismissed what she was saying. I didn't actually stop and listen to what she was saying. Tiff, copy and paste that subject from Kim, please. You and I can talk about that next Friday or possibly or the Friday after. But we'll put that on the list. You got that, baby? When you tell somebody that's actually interesting. Tiff will definitely do some research on that. That's right down her alley. She hates that. And she gives me the business. So I've learned to shut my mouth on that. Big difference between what? And again, anybody else that has any subjects or anything, please, listening. Oh, yeah. Oh, me and Tiff talk about that on a regular. People, I'm like, you hear me, but you're not listening. Listening is an active, mutual thing. Hearing is just sound going inside your ears. Listening is definitely a thing. So definitely, Tiff, make sure you put that down, please, what Kim put down. We'll add that to the list because we got a couple of things that people have given us. Actually, I got to go back over and make sure I'm addressing everything that everybody has given. But again, any other subjects, because again, all of these subjects we save because in the webinars, we're going to look to really dig into a lot of these subjects in a deeper way, which is to give you an opportunity to have conversations. And not everything is going to be on relationships, Kim. Some is going to be just interacting with other people. Some is going to be how do you deal with friends? How do you deal with friends who don't really want you to be successful, but yet claim to be your friends? That's something that's going to be a webinar that we're going to do. And it's not being a hater. Some of them just don't want you to succeed because they don't want you to leave them. So we're going to climb into stuff like that. Yes, we're gonna, and we'll, me and Tiff will definitely tear that apart in terms of men dismissing women because I have a problem with that, and I know Tiff does. I know Tiff will climb up in somebody's booty when they try to dismiss her at work. She'll literally call me and be like, "You know what happened?" I'm like, "Tell me, baby." And I'm like, "Did you get your shoe back?" Yeah. She said, "No, I went and put the other one in the booty." I'm like, "Okay, well, come on home barefooted then." Because Tiff don't be playing. Tiff will put all type of pumps up in the butt when you try to dismiss her. Don't do it. Oh, my gosh, she hates that. Oh, she really hates that. I'll get the call, and I'll be like, calm down. What happened? And another thing, I'm like, whoa, aren't you still at work? Yes, I don't care. But any subject. But, yeah, we're going to cover friendship. We're going to look at, of course, relationships because that's what we do, but we're going to also talk about friendship, also finances. Finances can be a real issue, but we're going to talk about, like how much do you share? Like, when do you co-sign for certain stuff? We're going to look to do 2 webinars a month at cost. The free stuff is going to be probably here in the group, but we're going to do 2 webinars probably a month. And we're going to make sure we cover pertinent subjects. And we're looking at an hour, hour and a half. I'm not going to stretch it long enough for the webinars. But the 2 courses we pretty much have in place. Share nothing. In what aspect, Tamari? Because I want to make sure I'm on point before I respond. I want to make sure I know what that's connected to. You say share nothing. Wait a minute. Never what? Oh, Lord. What y'all talking about? He is mine, and mine, and then his, what? He is mine, and then his is mine. What? Really, Tamara? What part of the Bible is that? His is mine, and mine is mine? Really? I'm not messing with y'all. Matthew, Mark, Luke, Paul, and Jane. the book of Jane. His dough is my dough, and my dough is my dough, and I make sure everything is straight, and he just better shut up and bring it home. Jane book 1 verse 3, yours is mine, yours, mine, and ours. Okay. You can have separate accounts, and that's another thing that Tiff and I believe in, that you should have separate, and then you can have mutual. Like now, Tiff will say, baby, order pizza. I'm like, okay, send me $25. We don't have to have a joint account, but if I need something, just like we joked and laughed, and I said, okay, KL doesn't have daycare. What you doing with all that extra money? She said, I'm taking care of the house. I was like, yeah, but now you got a whole lot of extra money. You should give me some. She's like, no, it's going to the house. Shut up. I was like, okay. So now I'll be like, yo, baby, give me $50. Now we'll joke, what you need it for? And I'll tell her, and then she sends it. But what we have, we share. That's the reason why going forward, we want to work for ourselves, because everything that we make stays home, or we give back out to the people. Thank you, Kim. True. We give back to everybody that we deal with, because we've been building this for a long time. We just didn't know how. I can't say didn't know how. We didn't commit ourselves to making it a business, so we were giving way too much away. And I've even had people tell me, like this show right here, like now it's 10:51, I think it is, right? I've been told I'm on here too long giving away stuff that I could charge. And I know that. But I don't mind, because I love what I do here, except now Tiff and I have an idea of the things that we want to charge for. But this I'm not charging for. And what Tiff and I do on Friday, we're not charging for, because you guys don't realize how much you feed us when we're feeding you. Because that, I believe, is what God wants. Just like in my Bible study group. I'm not going to sit around and tell folks, give me an offering, and this is my ministry. And this Bible study is for anybody who wants to just come and study about the Lord and know that they got somewhere for people to pray for them. I'm not going to start trying to charge money for that. We're creating products to charge for. And when we charge for them, we're going to make sure that you get everything that you paid for. That knowledge is going to be there. We're going to go get that knowledge if we don't already have it. So when it's over, you have something that you can use the next morning. And I want you to be able to come away from any webinar that Tiff and I do to be able to go, you better come over to the next webinar, because this couple here is real. They didn't call us the Obamas in the hood for no reason. I see married couples in the store talking about, oh, and you're going to split the bill, huh? Wait the whole, let's go Dutch, huh? Do I look You know what's funny is Tiff and I never had that problem. I'm like, you got money? And she's like, what you need? And I go, I need like now, we just paid for propane. I was like, baby, I need, what? She's like, what you need? Okay, I'll send it. Just like she'll call me, baby, send me $20. And I always joke, for what? Oh, I got to pay. Okay, yeah. She'll say, send me whatever. All right, cool. Tiff and I send so much money back and forth to each other that her credit card company put a freeze on her card because they thought she was doing something illegal, right? Am I wrong, Tiff? I think that's what it was, right? Your card company thought you was doing something illegal because you were sending me money back and forth. And then when she called, they was like, oh, okay, we just wanted to make sure. Looked like some fraudulent activity. But this is what we do. And we don't have joint cards and we don't have joint accounts. But there's nothing in my account that I'm hiding from Tiff. And I tell her what I'm doing. And I know what she's doing. We don't hide money from each other. But I don't need to be on top of her to know everything that she makes. It's called a mule. Exactly. And so, but what we're doing with the products that we're creating is based on what we've heard you guys give us feedback about. And some of the subjects that we've covered in here, we're now going to cover in a deeper way. Okay, you work at a bank. Oh, that's what it's called. It's called a mule. Okay, so they just feed. And I heard that before, Tamari. They just keep feeding the charges so they look like smaller charges, but it's a way for cats who are doing illegal things they work a whole lot of money through, right? Because I've heard that before, that they check the smaller transactions just for that reason. Okay, it's called a mule. Okay, I like that. You just taught me something tonight. Got that. I'll keep that in mind. Let me store that away. So you got cash mules, you got drug mules. Okay, I'm with that. Okay, makes sense. Got you. But yeah, so that's what Tiff and I are doing, because the webinars, we want to be able to do what we do here, but now really get in and answer your questions. Now, the Make a Marriage Cool Again, which is our bigger program, that's only going to be 10 couples. And the reason why is that each night over the 8 weeks, we're covering 2 subjects connected to marriage, and we're going to climb into them because, again, we want people's marriages growing as they go through the course. They said so many transactions. There you go. Exactly what Tamari was saying. Got you, baby. We want you to, each night that you come, I want you to come, each night in the Making Marriage Cool Again course is that we want married and long-term couples to come and be excited about what they're going to get tonight. What 2 subjects are we covering tonight? And how are we going to discuss that? And then how can we go home and implement that? That by the time we get to the end, it's a celebration because every couple that's with us has gotten better because of it. And then we're going to it's going to be a reoccurring course a couple of weeks later because now we have a place for them to come where we can all hang out daily. We're going to build this social media thing for us in a way that you guys who are involved with us, you grow with us too. And you already know the services that we provide literary wise, but also in private practice, we're going to put to work what God said about the 7 streams of income, but making sure we're offering things that people need and people want. Not feeling like you got sucked into something, you got catfished over some foolishness. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm going to... Kim, I told you. All you got to do is tell Tiff. You tell Tiff what subjects you want her to cover in her course, and Tiff will create a 4-week just for you, Kim. It'll be the Kim Long course. Abso-effing-lutely. Kim gonna pick up a mannequin so she can be in the course. We gonna wonder why her mannequins is like this the whole time. Kim, is your man okay? I'm like, I think Kim's screen is frozen. She gonna shake her head. No, he's okay. No mannequins, Kim. No mannequins. No mannequins. We will create something just for you. We'll create a webinar just for you. All you got to do is let us know what you're interested in, what you think would be something that would be good for about a good hour and a half. And Tiff and I will create it just for you. Because I want to listen. I'm listening to all of you. And I'm listening to all of you, not a blow-up doll. You know they got the real ones now. They got the real ones. But Tamari, you and Kim, y'all have some great ideas. Tell us what you want Tiff and I to create. Tell us what you would like to hear us cover in a webinar. Or if you think it's a course where you would like to stretch it out over a couple of weeks and learn some particular things, please let us know. We love the ideas because we're putting it together. And what we're going to create is designed with you guys in mind. Tiff and I are going to be the vessel. You tell us what you want and bring it to us, and we'll put it together because we're going to serve the Lord in a way that people are going to be like, wow. And I don't want anybody feeling like they lost money when they come to us. I want everybody to feel that what they paid for was of quality because that's how we did our book business, and that's why we've been open since 2010. And that's why you will find no negative things written about Braven Publishing on any Google search because we have not done anybody dirty, even though a couple of years there, 2013, we got done awful. 3 clients did us awful. Over close to $12,000 owed. It was bad. You just want to be held lovingly? I don't know if we can create, well, we can talk about that in a webinar, Kim. I don't know if I can supply that. That's against the law in most states. If I supply somebody to come hold you lovingly. I'm not trying to get locked up. But we can definitely work hard to make that happen because I would love to see that happen because I think you deserve it, Kim. I think you're a wonderful person. And I think a lot of people don't understand how big your heart really is. And you know Tiff and I do. Tiff and I know wholeheartedly how big your heart is. And we love your relationship with us. And I think this is another thing. No pimp no pimping. No pimping. Well, I know you just want to be held, but we can discuss that in a course. We can create a course on the effects of being held. But I don't know if for an hour and a half you want to talk about being held and then you don't get held at the end of it. That might cause you to be angry with us. So I'm just saying. Think about it. Think about it. You know. I got you. But think about it, guys. I'm going to get ready to sign off, but think about it. Whatever you guys want to see. And remember, we're going to always be here for free. That will never we will never charge a fee for Unapologetically Keith, because this is where we want you to come meet us. And then we'll show you where you can go for the things that work for your life. Because not every course and not every product is for everybody. But we definitely will keep these doors open. Tamari, thank you so much. Have a good night. We'll see you guys on Friday. Go back and watch the Instagram video, because we're really going to chop that apart. Tiff has some interesting things to share. I know I'm going to bring some things to the table. Kim, I'm going to pray some good, lovely man your way. Have both eyes and legs. You're both eyes. I love it. 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 Way to go, Tony. Way to go, Tamara. Yes, we want everything working. Because he roll up in a wheelchair. He could get roughed off by Kim. He need arms. He got to hold. We need that. Okay, guys, listen. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful night. See you on Friday. I know Tiff will be ready. Thank you again. Stay on the lookout. Yes. Thank you, guys. Have a good night, everybody. See you guys on Friday. Let's be ready to go on Friday. We're going to have some fun. Let's see if we can get some of the men to show up on Friday. You know y'all be scaring away. They terrified of you ladies. I ain't scared of you, in my Bernie Mac voice. Have a good night, guys. God bless. Be safe and be careful. This virus is real.